Okay, the first thing we need to do in order to install the full version of Klipper onto our system is we need to gain root access. Thankfully, Creality has made this fairly simple for us. The first thing you need to do is make certain you are on the latest firmware. If you are not, stop now, go load the firmware. Once we're on the latest firmware, we're going to need to gain access to the box at a higher level. To do this is simple. You're going to go to Settings, and in Settings, you're going to scroll down. You will see, let's get this backwards, Root Account Information. Oops. Root Account Information. It's going to want you to read and do a bunch of stuff. You're just going to check that, read it like we always do. Hit OK. And it's going to make you wait 30 seconds. This, I guess, is Creality's way of saying, warning, here there be dragons, be very careful. The reason they say that is that you can cause a lot of damage if you don't know what you're doing. I'm going to do another video on how to recover from that, but that's outside the scope of this video. A couple seconds later, it says OK. We now have our root. It's going to be the same. It's going to be root Creality 123, Creality 2023, pretty much on everything. Once we're done, you'll notice root is in yellow. That is letting us know that we now have root access to this machine. The next thing you're going to need to know is you're going to need to know your network, your IP address. Just go to network. Right there. 192.168.1.27. You didn't see my network name. From there, that's it. That's all we need to do. The next steps we will complete on the computer. Now that we've obtained the root information from our printer, we can proceed to install Klipper. Please note, do not attempt to install Klipper from the official Klipper repository. If you do this, the printer will become bricked and you will need to perform a recovery procedure. I will be providing a tutorial on how to do this because occasionally even Creality's official method of installing full Klipper can go south, but that's beyond this video. There will be another video on this. Open up a web browser and navigate to Creality's Annex. I will link in the description below. In there, you're going to download the entire GitHub repository. You're going to go to Code, Download Zip. This is going to basically download a copy of everything in here to a zip file that you can easily manipulate on your computer. It is possible to download the individual files we need, but Git's interface can be a little clunky. This just makes things a lot easier. Navigate to your Downloads folder, or wherever you save the file to, and extract the file that was downloaded. In this file, you'll see it's basically a clone of the actual file tree we saw on the website. Go into the Fluid directory, and in here you're going to see README and Fluid. Please note, you're going to copy this Fluid folder. A common mistake to make when doing this is going to here, copying this Fluid folder to the USB drive, and then attempting to run the commands and wondering why they don't work. Make sure you go into the directory and copy this Fluid folder. Copy this to the USB drive. You're going to take this USB drive and insert it into any open USB port on your Ender 3 V3KE printer. The printer will recognize the drive automatically. There is nothing you need to do at the touchscreen other than plug the drive in. Quick side note for those of you who are Linux literate. Yes, it is possible to modify the installation commands should you accidentally copy the top level folder. For the purposes of this video, we're trying to make it as easy as possible. Now that we have inserted the USB drive into our printer, we are going to gain terminal access. The easiest and freest method to do this is to use a program called PuTTY. Downloading and installing that is beyond the scope of this video. There's tons of tutorials on the internet on how to do it. For the purposes of our installation, we're going to open up PuTTY. You want to make certain that SSH is selected, and you're going to enter the IP address of the printer that you got from the console before.
Once you enter that, it's just hit open. Please note, the first time you connect, you will see a warning box about a thumbprint mismatch and an untrusted certificate. Just click accept. You're going to log in utilizing the credentials we obtained before. Please note, these credentials are case sensitive. Root's lowercase r, and the current password has a capital C. Once we are in there are two simple commands we are going to run to install Klipper. If you navigate back to the page, go to the fluid directory and open up the README file. The very first command here is what we are going to use to copy the files from the USB drive over to the printer itself. Pretty much copy, paste, hit enter. It may take a moment or two. This is a Linux terminal. It is not the fastest of hardware. The next thing we're going to do is run the installer. User data fluid.sh install, copy, paste. This is going to go ahead and install Fluid. It's also going to install a piece of software called Moonraker. The layout of Klipper is a little beyond the scope of this, but basically Moonraker is the API interface that Fluid talks to. If you want to know more about it, search the internet. There's tons of tutorials and layouts about how Klipper works. Now that it is done, all we have to do is browse to our particular IP address on a port. Think of ports as a house with multiple doors. You're just going in the back door or the side door instead of the front door. It's the easiest way to explain it. They give you an example here. In our case, the IP address is 1.27, but this is the port you're going to go to, :4408. So you're going to enter http :// the IP address of your printer, and you're going to go to :4408. If you've done this correctly, you're going to see the Fluid interface. That's it. That is how easy it is to install Fluid on the Ender 3 v3ke. What about Moonraker, I hear you saying? It's the same procedure. You're going to go back to here. You're going to... I'm sorry, Mainsail, not Moonraker. You're going to copy the Mainsail folder to your USB, run the two installation scripts that are in the README, and Mainsail will be installed. It's literally that easy. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please give it a like and feel free to subscribe. Thank you, and see you next time.